Hello Jira users. In this time tracking for Jira tutorial we'll explore 5 reports configured with the Performance Objectives app, providing insights on how tasks are being handled in relation to deadlines. These will help you monitor overdue issues and upcoming due dates, from different perspectives. Let's start with a remaining time to due date by Assignee report, configured in our heat map. Configure your data source by disabling the date range, and selecting the project you wish to analyze. Then, apply the JQL query shown on the screen to filter only unresolved issues with assigned due dates. Keep the default number of issues metric. For the horizontal axis, select the remaining time to due date metric. Set the actual date to resolved, and keep the due date option. We'll calculate the values in days with a 24/7 calendar. If you prefer to display the remaining time in working hours, you may select your custom work calendar, and switch to hours. Next, use the metric distribution slot splitters option to define day intervals for the calculation. Select the Assignee field for the vertical axis. And that's it. We now have a report that shows how many unresolved issues are approaching, or have passed their deadlines, broken down by Assignee. Next, let's configure an unresolved issues by overdue state and status report. For the data source, filter unresolved issues as in the previous report. Keep the default metric, number of issues. For display by, select the overdue state field, with settings from resolved to due date. For stack by, select the status field. Hover and click on the overdue bar segment. This way you can directly navigate to a list of overdue issues in the Jira Issue Navigator. For a quick snapshot of how many overdue tasks each assignee is currently managing, let's configure a number of overdue issues per assignee report, using our circular gadget. For the data source, apply the same settings as in the previous report. For the metric calculation, select number of overdues, set up from resolved to due date. For the first level of display, select the Assignee field. For the second level of display, select the status field. Finally, switch to the donut chart option available in the circular gadget. Next, let's configure a number of overdues by overdue time report, to visualize how overdue tasks are distributed based on the length of time they've been overdue. In the data source, disable the date range, and select the project you wish to analyze. This way, you'll include all issues to pull the metric from, regardless of their due and resolution state. For the metric calculation, select number of overdues metric, set up from resolved to due date. For display by, select overdue time from date. Set the actual date to resolved, and keep the due date selection for the due date option. We'll calculate the values in days and use the 24/7 work calendar. Next, use the metric distribution slot splitters option to define day intervals for the calculation of all overdue tasks. With this report, you can get a clear picture of overdue tasks, grouped by how many days they've been delayed. Finally, let's set up an project overdue state by assignee report. For the data source, apply the same settings as in the previous example, to include all issues in your project. Keep the default metric number of issues. Display the data by the assignee field. Stack by the overdue state field, and configure it from resolved to due date. You'll get a comprehensive report at the assignee level, of due versus overdue issues, along with an empty segment for issues that don't have a due date assigned. Stay on top of deadlines with these time tracking reports for Jira, powered by the Performance Objectives app. Thank you for watching.